Okay, so we just talked about fleshy versus dry fruits. Well, when you have a fleshy fruit, we can have different types of fleshy fruits as well, right? So, one of the things that you look at is, let's say you have a raspberry. You have a berry, right? This is a whole bunch of berries. So how does that come to be? There's actually two different ways that you can have this happen. So you can have what's called an aggregate fruit, and that is going to be when you have, it's one flower, right? Here's my spiky flower, and it has a whole bunch of those different ovules with their little stigma and style attached, and their little petiole, as we call it. So there's a whole bunch of petioles in this one plant, and all of those are going to give rise to a little bitty berry. So that's going to be a raspberry, or another good example is a strawberry. And if you dissect the strawberry, you'll be able to see all these little canals, these little stigmas around the outside. And then the styles you can kind of see as well, these little lines. So that's why it's called an accessory fruit, is it's kind of wearing its seeds on the outside in a way. And that's not super common. Okay? And now, so what's the other one? Well, so let's say you have, here's one flower, and it's actually made up of a bunch of tiny flowers. So the typical example of this is actually corn. So those tassels you see on the corn, that's a whole bunch of little flowers, and that's going to arise into a corn kernel, each of those flowers. So you're going to end up with a little corn plant. And this one is called a multiple fruit. So tomorrow when you're making your observations and you're looking at flowers, I want you to be thinking, if it has a whole bunch of these little petioles, it might be an aggregate fruit, and if it has maybe a whole bunch of little tiny flowers, it might be a multiple fruit. So think about what kind of fruit that flower might make.